I am both bored out of my mind and really bloody terrified for the ending of this series. So I found this preference revealer thing where you basically, well, it reveals your preference. Oh wow, I'm not good at this at all. So I thought it would be fun to try and pass the time and figure out which side character, should we say? Which minor HumaGear character ends up being my favourite. I'm on the website right now getting the characters, and it just reminds me about all the bloody horrible laws about AI. Oh my god, it's so gross. Like, banned from becoming professional athletes, cannot hold government position. Oh, it's so gross. Anyway, any point you could tell me the characters, that would be wonderful. It's also my first time recording like this. I have no clue if this is actually working. Okay, here we go. G-Pen or Sakamoto Kobe. So G-Pen was the manga artist, and Sakamoto Kobe was the intense PE teacher. Oh no, that's so hard already. Oh, what was I thinking? Oh, Kobe reminds me of one of my PE teachers, so him. Mamoru or Love-chan. I feel like I know Mamoru more, so I'll have to go for him. Sorry. I feel genuinely bad. Midori or Cien. Oh, Cien. Midori is the farmer, and Cien... Is that her name? Oh no, this is going to be the point where I realise I don't know how to pronounce half of these people's names. So Midori was sweet, but I don't know. Well, it's nothing against her, I just did not enjoy the whole trying to insist that a Horobi needed a reason to live with humans. Like, humans are not the be-all and end-all. So Cien is just a sweetheart, and I feel bad for her ending because she deserves better. It's not her fault that she was illegal, you know, so her. Oh no! Oh, I love them both! Bingo or Subaru. Oh, this is really hard. Both of them I just want to hug and protect. I didn't expect this to be this hard. Subaru. And I already have a feeling that I know who the top person's gonna be. If NG ever comes up, like, it's him, I'm sorry. Check It Out or Delmo. Check It Out was fun. Delmo I didn't like. Again, it's not her, but her storyline again was very much, let's show the humans what we can do for them, and I just don't like that mentality at all. Plus I don't really remember her that well. Check It Out really stands out. I legitimately, unironically listen to that song all the time, so I have to go for him. Dr. Omigoto, or how did they say his name? The firefighter person. I can't remember how they actually said his name. It does have to be him because he bloody well sacrificed himself, and that whole scene was just emotional. Hakase Bart. Again, I don't really think about the fortune teller person. Higashi Shinagawa. That person. Higashi Shinagawa. No haha. Hakase. Taro or Saikyo Takumi Oyakata. Carpenter person. Oh, he was fun. He was intense. I liked him. Mashiro-chan or Sumida Smile. Smile is an absolute total sweetheart. Sakuyo Ishirin or Wazu. Again, a total sweetheart. Oh no, why? Why? I love them both equally. Oh, Matsuda Z. Oh, no disassemble number 5. It has to be the Matsuda. I feel so bad. He's another one of the ones I just want to hug and protect. I don't know why I decided to do this. No, it has to be. It has to be the not Ansatz person. Smile. Hakase. Racing through this. Enji. Subaru. Mamoru. Subaru. Enji. That was painful. Oh no. Oh, sorry, but I love you to bits. Matsuda. Enji. No. Oh, that's so mean. Subaru. This is painful. Oh no. I mean, I know who it is, but I feel so bad not picking Subaru. But it has to be Enji, sweetie. Matsuda. Why am I taking this so seriously? Okay, now this is hard. Oh, I love them both so much. Okay, let's think about this one. So cute. Okay, the results. Not even remotely surprising that my first is Enji. I mean, I pretty much decided that from the off. Enji, Subaru, and Matsuda Z. So in backwards order, there's a word for that. Descending order. In descending order. It's not. I don't dislike anyone. It's not that I dislike Love-chan or Delmo, but I just, like I said, I don't remember them that well. And to be perfectly honest, it took me way too long to understand why he was called Love-chan. So, what does that name have to do with anything? Why does love come into it? What's love got to do with tennis? Oh. I feel so stupid. Oh my god. Well, yeah, I don't remember them well enough to say that I specifically liked them above other people. Genuinely, all I remember is that Love-chan is the tennis person, and there was a kid involved, and Delmo is a model, and that's really it. So there's not a lot to say about them, and that's on me for not going back to their episodes often enough. 23 is learning Japanese, I promise. Higashi Shinagawa no Hana. Yes, that person. Her name means Mother of East Shinagawa. To be fair, again, it's not her fault, but you know, I was focusing on other things in that episode. I cared way more about what the hell was happening to Horobi in that episode to really pay attention to this sudden new person. And then 22 is Taro, and like I said, again, he was in the first episode and he had that special on YouTube, and I don't really, again, remember him. He didn't really have much of a speaking role, unless I'm being stupid. I really need to go back to the beginning again, but I don't really remember him doing much. Which again, I don't dislike him, I just grew more attached to the people who had like 2 episodes or 3 episodes or however many episodes, and we actually got to spend some time with and interact with more and learn more about. Nazutoku Wazu. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say about him. Again, it's one of those things that's not his fault, but I associate him with the whole mentality that HumaGear themselves keep saying, that they exist for humans and are all about working for humans, and I can't stand that mentality. And so again, it's not his fault, and he was an enjoyable character, but again, I was more focused on other things during his episode, and I suppose I just don't tend to go back and think about him all that often. Dr. Omigoto, again, I feel like I don't know him enough. Like, I've seen him be a doctor, and again, that's once again not his fault, that's on me for not going back to his episodes and rewatching, and I just don't have enough of a feel for him, and I don't feel I've spent enough time with him compared to the ones further up to warrant really developing that much of a connection with the character. I feel like that's like, you know, the bottom half of the list is essentially, it's not that I dislike anyone, I just haven't spent enough time with them. Ikan Nigiro was the sushi person, who was again very early on, but I do remember him a lot more. I think because that was the episode where they started talking about HumaGear having souls and stuff, and I was thinking, wow, I do not like these new Kamen Riders who are all about HumaGear not being alive and stuff, like, that's horrible. Obviously my opinion has changed and I am very much a huge fan of both Fura and Yua, but at the time I was like, wow, these are some horrible things you guys are saying. And I think I don't know, it was a nice story in that the human wasn't so bad that it was like sending someone off to be with their abuser and telling the victim to change. He wasn't like that bad, he was just misguided, I think. It wasn't as annoying as, hey, go back to this person who mistreats you because you exist for humans and only for humans. It's more like he was misguided and he didn't, you know, it was on him, the human, if I remember correctly, to maybe change his opinions a little bit, and it was a nice story. I really liked it, and I do think about him a lot. G-Pen, again, is someone who, thinking about him now, I do quite like. Again, I think he had a good story and I'm happy for him now. I think he had a nice kind of story arc as far as minor characters get story arcs, in that he's now kind of sort of doing his own thing. That was really nice. But I think for me personally, I did need to go back to his kind of return episode a lot, because when I first watched it, it was very much overshadowed by the annoying kind of mentality where Anato was like, oh, we have to ask him what he wants. So then as soon as Jin came along, Anato was like, no, he's the manga artist's partner, how dare you? Like, I don't recall him giving you that answer. But other than that, you know, and it was absolutely heartbreaking when he was walking around and he just couldn't function without Zia, and almost as if HumaGear actually are really guided by the satellites that they are controlled by. Almost as if it's not that easy to actually function without a satellite, and almost as if one of those satellites turned evil, that it's actually not that easy to break away from and function without. Sakamoto Kobe, him, it was the PE teacher who kind of, like, I resonate with him kind of, because he reminds, strangely, I have good memories of PE back at school, despite the fact I did not do PE back at school. It probably says a lot about the rest of the school that PE is what I was most fond of. But I don't know, he just reminds me of one of the few people at my school who was actually legitimately nice and I actually got on with. Disturbed me to learn that you can just reset HumaGear, and that is a thing that is offered. Almost as if people don't actually treat them like people, they treat them like tools, but you know, let's not get into that. Mashiro-chan? I am probably butchering these so much. She was the nurse who, to be perfectly honest, again, I don't remember her that well, but she was sweet, and I really liked her, and that's why she's higher. I am gonna look up how they said his name, now that I have my tablet on me. Well, yeah, that is the numbers in Japanese, isn't it? Ichichikyu Nosuke? That's what I'm calling him. Ichichikyu Nosuke was the firefighter who, like, first watch I wasn't that invested in because I was way more interested in all the Horobi and Jin stuff that never happened. Like I was waiting for something that I legitimately thought was going to happen and then never did. And you know, back in the day when we actually thought that Horobi was going to get screen time, I was way more invested in what we weren't seeing. But then going back and watching it, I realised that actually I really like him, and just seeing him like holding the thing up with just like as a HumaGear, because his whatever it is that makes them look human was gone, and he was scorched, and it was horrible. And Mamoru deserves better after having been used as a bloody bulletproof jacket. Like, I know his name means protect, but I don't know, I found that all just a little bit disturbing. If it was me and I was smuggling their data keys out and I got hit, and one of them got hit, I would definitely be freaking out, like a lot more. I wouldn't just grab the thing, watch the bullet slide off and go, oh cheers mate. It's like, oh my god, is Mamoru okay now? You know, like, obviously he would be, they're sturdier than that, and clearly there was no damage to the data key, but I would have been, you know, concerned. 13 is MC Check It Out, who, like I said, I unironically listen to the HumaGear rap a lot. It's ridiculously catchy. And I think he was justified in getting mad, and I hate how HumaGear aren't allowed to get angry, but he was perfectly justified. 12 is Ends to Be Match. Oh, I have so many feelings about that episode. Like, HumaGear, that wasn't even written on the arbitrary rules thing about how they're not allowed to hold public office, and they're not allowed to become professional athletes. They're not allowed to get married either. That hurts. That hits hard. Oh my god, I shouldn't have to tell you that denying like sentient adult people the right to marry is not, like, you're not on the right side of history. But there we are. Other than that, he was so fun, and I miss him a lot. I would happily watch more episodes with him in it. Very dramatic. I really like was my favourite character last year. I really like people who are dramatic and have this extra sort of flair about them. Saikyo Takumi Oyakata was loud. That's it. And I like loud. He was loud, and he was enthusiastic, and he was loud, and he always carried power tools with him, and that is my kind of person. Yeah, Midori is sweet. She's an absolute total sweetheart. As I said when I was actually doing the thing, I do not like the whole sort of pestering Horobi. Like, there must have been a reason you were created for humans. Like, how about just let him be? Like, not, you know, when I say that, I don't mean why not just leave him connected to the Ark, you know, actually maybe save him, but it shouldn't be about him existing for humans. Like, he already has, like, he has his own, well, he had his own family setting. I'm still salty about that one. Being a dad to Jin is enough. It shouldn't be about being a dad to human children. He's a dad to Jin. Like, that counts. And even he's allowed his own. It's like, you're allowed your own dreams as HumaGear, but only the ones that we give you. But again, that's not Midori's fault. She herself was really sweet. Anna, again, really sweet. And was she, again, because it's been a while, but was she the first one to, like, resist? Well, I seem to recall she started resisting the hacking, didn't she? And I think, thinking about it, I remember Fura wanting to shoot it anyway, and thinking, oh my god, this series is really disturbing. I really hope HumaGear gets saved in the end, and I'm not convinced now that is going to happen. Hakasebot, again, is just one of those quirky, enthusiastic, flairish people who I am just naturally drawn to. Plus, he created Horobi, and I know that he's probably actually created a lot of HumaGear. I mean, they said that he created Metsubo Jinrai. He may have created 3 of them. As we all know, Horobi created Jin. You're not allowed to backtrack on that. It's like one of the only things we know about him. We can't take that away now. But, you know, point is, he created Horobi, and I know that he would have created countless amount of HumaGear, but in my mind, that makes him granddad, and that's really cute. Cien was the HumaGear who then got Jin to start to gain singularity with the whole parent and child aspect. She was created illegally, and so then she was stripped away from her body and put into a glorified Alexa, and that's supposed to be a bittersweet, nice, happy ending. Like, it wasn't her fault. That's like, I understand that rule that you can't create HumaGear who look like dead people without their consent. That's not her fault. Like, she shouldn't have had to have suffered for it. But yeah, I feel a soft spot for her because of that story, and because she bloody well deserves better than that. Absolutely horrible. Sumida Smile is 6 for obvious reasons. She's a sweetheart. She's adorable. I love her. She's like my ideal. She's like my ideal wife material. I would marry her if I could, but unfortunately she's a HumaGear, and HumaGear aren't allowed to get married. But you know, if equal rights were a thing, and she's also so great with kids, she'd be such a good wife, such a good mum. I love her so much. I want to marry her, and I want to bake with her, and I want to like back hug her while we're both baking. This is going weird. I just really like her, okay? The Bingo is strange because he's genuinely one of my favourites, and now I'm sitting here explaining why these people are my favourites, and I'm like, I can't put it into words. There's just something about him. Well, again, he's adorable and I want to hug him. He was killed by Guy for having thoughts and opinions of his own. You know, Guy, the person who got redeemed because he had a cute dog. He's just someone who, yeah, that's it, I suppose. I just want to hug him. Bless him. He's just so sweet. So even in the courtroom, he's adorable. Tokyo Ichirin. I feel like all I'm saying about anyone is that they're adorable, but it's true, she is. She's a total sweetheart, and she did not deserve that at all. And I feel sorry for her. She can do the flowers for our wedding. Matsuda Z number 5. No, Disassemble number 5. Perhaps should not have been sent back out to work. Maybe therapy is a thing that should have been suggested to him. He has lost, you know, his 4 siblings, basically. Not even that. They're like, oh no, I'm feeling stupid now. What's the 5-person equivalent of triplets? Quintuplets? Like, horribly. He's going to be mistaken for Answers-chan by other people. If they actually know what Smudging Light look like. Like, he's going to have a hard time. He needed help. Just seeing him sitting alone, just remembering performing with the rest of them. HumaGear did not get help in this series. Like, therapy is not a thing in Kamen Rider. Number 2 is naturally Uchiharu Subaru. Can I say? Is there another way to put he's a total sweetheart? Because, I mean, isn't he just? And again, maybe, you know, maybe therapy should have been offered to him after he discovered that his brother was a sleeper agent who was then killed horribly and is now back. Maybe therapy should be offered to these poor people. Like, it was taken from the back, so I hope we're not being misled. I'm pretty sure he's back next episode, and I'm really looking forward to it. And number 1 is naturally Matsuda NG. Smile and gentleness. Oh, there's so much to say about NG. And one of them is that he's a total sweetheart, and I just want to hug him. It was mean. This was one of the episodes where I realised that people really do not care about their HumaGear at all. Like, you can talk about HumaGear in general, but no one, when Orada Shinya, who I hate to say a bad word against, but when he was talking about how he didn't want to work with HumaGear, how he knew it was a bad idea and everything, in front of Enji, who was still bowing to him, and then everyone went off and followed him, and no one went to ask Enji, hey, those are some really harsh words, are you okay, sweetie? Like, no one did that. He was alone in his dressing room with the script in his hands, saying, why aren't I good enough? And that was so painful. Like, sweetie, you are perfectly good enough. Well then, if anyone has actually stuck around for the end of this cluster chuck of a video, thanks a lot. Now I know that this is a format I can do. never said I could do it well, but I can do it. And bye. Oh, what was I thinking?